welcome to another album review. This is my fourth one, so I hope you're enjoying them if you're watching them, which you are if you've seen this. I've been tweeting quite a lot recently about lots of different albums and stuff I've been buying, and I actually updated my blog last night for the first time in almost 2 years. So apologies if you've just got to that. And so yeah, for the album I'd like to look at today, I thought actually the last couple of albums I've been reviewing have been fairly new ones. The Manics is quite new, the Coleman Brothers is new, Donald Fagen not so new, but there will be new pressings apart from the Fagen. So I thought I'd go with some old records that I found that I've not necessarily paid a lot of money for at all. So the first one I'd like to look at is one that I actually bought last week for £2. That's £2 from a charity shop, which I was really happy about because it's great. Is this one here. It's West Side Story by the Oscar Peterson Trio. Now I've actually got this on CD upstairs. I think about 15 years ago, Verve or HMV Verve, they started doing these things called the Master Series, and they re-released a load of jazz albums from varying different dates, 60s onwards, I imagine, on these lovely kind of digipack gatefold CDs. And yeah, I bought this one. I bought this probably about 15 years ago, actually, because, well, two reasons really. First of all, it's West Side Story. I'm not much of a musicals fan. Being a musician, I've played lots of different musicals, and West Side Story, it's one of the few that I think is brilliant, absolutely stunningly written. So yeah, so that first of all, done by the Oscar Peterson Trio. Oscar Peterson, Canadian jazz piano player, absolute legend. I really enjoyed piano playing. He's one of my favourite jazz piano players. So yeah, that was why I bought it years ago, and since then I've played it a lot. I wouldn't say it's a weekly play, possibly not even a monthly play, but it's one that I do come round to every couple of months or so. It goes back in the car for a few weeks, and it's something I really enjoy. I really enjoy the interpretation. So let's look at this anyway. First of all, so we've got a scene from the West Side Story film, which was in the, I think it was late 50s, something like that. Just a photograph, typical 1960s packaging. So we've got at the top there the title with mono, and then on the back we've got a nice flip back sleeve all the way around. That's lovely. So this is a nice original pressing from '62. We've got, this is what I love about old, particularly jazz albums, they did this loads. There's a really nicely written bit of information, and I love it. So you know, by all means have a read of it if you get a copy of this. I'm sure you can probably find this online somewhere as well. And yeah, so we've got the trio of Oscar on piano, Ray Brown on bass. He didn't use Ray Brown all the time. Ray Brown was replaced later with Swedish guy, I can't remember his name, somebody Peterson. I prefer Ray Brown. I think his bass playing is really lyrical, it's really melodic. Especially his solo, it's fantastic. I love it. And Ed Thigpen on drums. That's his classic trio. That's the three that always kind of tended to play together. I've got numerous different CD albums by these three. Sometimes they feature guest people as well. I've got one with Ben Webster, one with Louis Armstrong, and so on. He tends to favour his horn players, really. Sometimes vocalists as well. But this one's just the trio. And so, as you can see by the track listing, they're all songs, as you can probably guess, from West Side Story. So there's some you might know in there. Something's Coming, one of the openers. Jet Song is one of the openers as well. Somewhere There's a Place for Us. It's one that Marie and Tony sing in the first act. Tonight, blah 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 blah, and so on and so on. What's lovely about this is that they don't sound terribly like the originals. There's enough material there to cling on to, think, that's the melody from so and so, but they do it in a way that's mixed it up quite a lot. Quite up-tempo jazzy numbers for the most part, kind of a medium cool jazz kind of feel to it. Obviously some of the ballads, Maria particularly, he slows it right down and he really gets to grips with the piano. It's just him for large parts of it. What's nice in There's a Place for Us is actually the bass does the solo, the melody using a bow, so it kind of plays the solo rather than Oscar Peterson taking the limelight all the time. So I really like that. I think it's really cool. If you like jazz records, this is the one you should go to. This isn't. I didn't pick this record because I think this is the best jazz record in the world. I picked this one because I bought it last week, so I've been listening to it quite a lot for the last week, which is why I've come to it. And I will you know, go back around all my other old albums at some point. I've got plenty to go through. Very quickly, when you go inside, another thing I really like when I bought this, it's got the original in a bag, which is an anti-static one from way back when. So Verve, obviously owned by HMV, his master's voice, and the you'll see various different Verve labels through time, but this is kind of your 1960s one. So you get your black Verve records, blah blah blah, made in Great Britain at the bottom. It's called the Verve series. You notice it says his master's voice across the top. That's kind of the umbrella label. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, please do, because I don't know if this is right, but I believe HMV, being a British record company, released the Verve, which is an American record label. Believe they released them, kind of published them and released them in Britain. So I'm not sure if that's entirely true. Somebody told me that, so it could be completely false. So that's that really. This is a beautiful album, and you should have a listen. At the very least, I'll try and post some links in the description below, so that you can have a listen. Do follow me on Twitter, and now I've started doing my blog again, by all means have a read. Again, I'll post all that stuff down the bottom here, so you can get on, and you should go and listen to this album because it's great. Thanks for your time.